On this lovely day after the equinox, I did do a channel guidance for you on the podcast, but I said I need to give also to my lovely video IHP community. Above the fray, seeing the 5D life, that's a secure person, knowing that you get to build emotion regulation skills as you integrate that lovely brain, left-right brain mode. All hands on deck, integration of the brain. It means you know how to be present, how to flow, even without knowing anything about how the mind constructs. You know naturally how to deconstruct and reconstruct, and really it's all about the inner world of you. So when you're a secure person, it means that here you are in the Purusha, pure consciousness, unconditional love. You have flaws, I have flaws. You have imperfections, I have imperfections. But we do it with secure attachment, meaning we're grown-ups. We have that healthy self-worth that Terry Real talks about, which is I ain't superior, I ain't inferior. So a 5D life consistently there is a person who was able to naturally work through those charged states. We all have them, and we talk a lot about that. And 5D mystics aren't any different. Now, the 4D lifestyle and 4D mystics are different because there's a very different way that they get poked. They get poked and love doesn't come out unless it's their love button. So they are influenced by the external. It's kind of like the Grease song. I love the song, but you're the one that I want. So you could look at it as ethical cults. They have a leader, or culty cults, or traditional cults. So they follow somebody who pokes them, and usually you'll also find that their poke can also be a relationship and or something outside themselves. So basically their heart depends, meaning purpose. Now remember, as people, we have different drivers. There's 3 of them. There's self-agency, there's bonding, and there's certainty. And we have all 3. But the personality that is yours going to be led by that drive. So you want to find out what drives you. And some people, they've literally spoken words to me. I'm only driven and motivated and feel that I have purpose if that's a person who has bonding and uncertainty drive. So it's the outside that gives them the purpose inside. 5D life is not that way. We are life from our 3-year-old, and that's where it stays, and it keeps moving. So our heart stays whole. People who move into wholeness, it's because they get to heal their unresolved trauma and attachment wounds, whether they do it on their own by learning to self-regulate and by learning about emotions and saying, I'm a human, I want to have relationships, and I don't need the drama because drama's for the movies. And I don't need you to poke me to have fun in life because I actually find life fulfilling. In the absence of belief, supernatural, there's none of that. The 5D inclined person who's going to be here, which is 5D, is oneness consciousness. It's called Christ consciousness because the man named Jesus, not because of belief systems, which 4D is all over the belief systems and associating it based on belief systems. Again, some people need a motivation to achieve their own Purusha. So to feel unconsciously loving towards themselves with flaws and imperfections, they need to say, I have value for other people, and if I don't, then I'm meaningless. And this is the way their drivers work. So some people, they are completely whole. And when I say whole, what I mean is they have no shame, defectiveness, which is unresolved trauma. They're not reactive in life. They're responsive. So they say, yep, I have meaning because of X, Y, Z, D, F, G. This is how I love life. This is how I do life. And there's a 4D collective, 3D collective, but they're mature in a 5D way because they're using their left-right mode. And so their nervous system is in ventral vagal. They will respectfully engage with you. And so 5D mystics don't get like, oh, you're a demon, let me erase you. Oh, you can have some magic spell over me. No, an actual mature 4D, 3D collective person or other soul age group won't do that. They'll be like, yeah, this is how I lead life. You lead life that way. Wow, that's awesome. Let's talk about it because we can, social, political, economical, religious, grown-ups know how to talk about everything. I don't know what's happened. No, I do know what's happened. And I'm not going to go on with that one. So let me go back to Greece because this song, I'm like, this is a beautiful song, but yeah, no way in hell that a 5D person is going to be in this spot, even if you'll dance to it. So I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control because the power you are supplying is electrifying. So another human being pokes you and you are basically charged or not charged. So you're not the owner of your own nervous system. obviously. And here's where, when you learn about attachment styles, like the anxious avoidant, which is the whole twin flame saga at this point, which is trending, that's why it's not a truth. I mean, if you're a 5D mystic, you don't use labels and people, coaches, to tell you about your oversoul. It's like ridiculous. You're like, why are you coming into my space and telling me about me? Get away. You're actually now in my space. And again, I don't do you. You do you, I do me. So we don't like when 4D starts to do shit. And that's where I'm going to, again, put that to the side. But we know what they're doing. And it's like, yeah, there ain't no enmeshment here. Please go mesh with somebody who wants a codependent type relationship. That's not going to be a 5D person. You better shape up because I need a man. Okay, so this right here is codependent. Anyone talking about changing people? Thank you, Patrick Tiahan, for that list of what a person who's superior or a martyr is going to do. And they're going to try and change somebody. And that's all, by the way, low self-esteem. So obviously, again, I respect that some people find meaning and purpose with others. But the fact that you would change yourself for somebody else, it's teenage stuff. And, actually I have a story about that. Even for me. Oh, that one. Yes, I've shared this one many times. There's this tall boy I liked as a teenager. And it was a time where big shoes were coming out. And I remember buying big shoes. Not only did I like them, I still do, but I can't for my back. Now I'm an old lady. 43, I'm an old lady. So I can't wear high heels like I would. But long story short, this lovely gentleman, teenager, was an asshole. I remember knowing that he was a bit of an asshole. Why? Because he would flirt about us, but then he would always remind me, you're short. It would aesthetically look wrong. And I'm like, that's so wrong. That's not even love. But I would have fun as any teenager. So we just chit-chatted and flirted, and that was it. But I remember buying shoes, and like one of the days I went, I think, with my new fancy shoes, and he was like, you're still short. So I was like, you're not my love, that's for sure. And actually, here's the part. We are love. So a 5D person also figures that one out pretty quick as a teenager. That is the year that your lovely brain, thank you, Daniel Siegel, our lovely brain, human brain, goes through what is called the pruning process. Oh, and our charge states, they stop building at that 14, 15, 16. So at that point, you begin to take ownership of your heart body, your value body, your physical, energy, and mental. So 5D, don't get lost. No. We're like, okay, we know what it means to be treated right, and it ain't by somebody who's going to be a dork and be reminding anyone about something like that. But that's because there's no shame button. So see that person they poked to have fun, it's not mean. They're a low self-esteem human being who was having a kick out of something. That's okay. Nobody got hurt. In fact, this is because what true self-empowerment and confidence equal is I ain't superior or inferior. And you know what? Your words are words. I find it funny. It's like a comedian. Because see, when you get an adult, emotionally speaking, that's the biggest difference. The 5D person will tell you all about how many clown faces we meet. And no matter what the clown face is, it's just a clown face. And it's not distorted. For the ones who think they're being humorous. And then the ones who get into the kind of clown face of those horror movies that I will never watch because I get nightmares. We feel sad for. Because they have actually what is called trauma memory. And it's so bad that there's hell in their body. So I'm not going to go down that path. That's why we don't do 4D talk, demons, devils, entities. No. There's a human being behind every body, and you weren't in their body when they were at home, so you don't know what trauma or anything that they've been through, and it is not nice to talk about any human being in a way that is unkind because of your belief system. You can believe what you want. The scientific methodology, thank goodness they're here with machines to show you that there's no demon in the body of a person, even after demonic possession. Thank you, Patrick McNamara, for the research you're doing on the religious consciousness self. So people who are 5D get educated, and we don't use our mouths to be in a space of let me point a finger and talk about you a certain way. That's because that's what empowerment means. Healthy self-worth. I'm not superior, I'm not inferior, and nobody is. So we always know how to handle. A secure person handles any type of situation with love and respect. And at the most, we're going to distance ourselves if things get nasty. That's it. That's all we're going to do. So we will have a second part to this. But in the meantime, be loving and kind. You don't walk in anybody's shoes. Tune in for more. And we have a special surprise. You can find it on the YouTube channel.